Sims 3. So we have our mountains, okay, and now we need to make them look like mountains, because right now they're just loads of green mountains. I could not think of anything else to say. So we're gonna go to here where your paint and terrain tools are. Say we're gonna select rock shale base DDS, and we're gonna do the size of our little our little brush, say about 17, 15. Now the opacity we're going to turn all the way down to about 25, and then the fall off we're going to turn all the way down to about 14. Now we're going to want to do that, okay, and just add that like so. Now this is for cliffside bases. I will show you different forms of trying to do this, but this is just a quick little so this is cliffside bases. Now we're going to want to go to grass medium base. Now this time we're going to turn the size of our brush down to, like, say about, if it gives me 10. Okay, so 10, and the fall off is going to be smaller, so about 6, and our opacity is going to be about 15. Now we're just going to want to, you know, just sort of smoothen that out. Turn the opacity down to about 7, and then you should have this nice going on like fade effect. So to add that fade effect, I just turned my opacity down to like 7 and fall off to about 6, and the size of the brush is 10, and you just go over it like so. And now with like cliffs with like in Ireland and stuff, you know, you got all those little bits of grass in between them, and they're not exactly straight or flat like this, and they're all jagged. So we're going to go down to our add a layer in the layer. So that should give us like a really like black off sort of, you know. Now we're going to change our brush size to about 5. I'd say you can go smaller, like depending on the scale you're working on. And we're just going to add, and you can't see it very well, but you just got to keep going over it a few times, and we're going to add random little points like this over here, like so. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to do that, and then we're going to want to go to our add layer again, and we're going to dirt light base, and we're going to go on that, and we're going to go over where the like almost black sort of thingy-majiggy is gone. And you know where I put the separation between like all of that, like the bottom half where I've gone over it in the grass. Now we're just going to separate the grass and the mountain cliff face, sort of whatever you want to call it, with the light dirt. And now we're going to go back to our original grass medium, and we're going to turn the opacity down to about 4, and we're going to change the size to about 7, and we're just going to go over this, do a once over, and we're going to do this. Now we're going to change the size to about 3. So now we're going to add our little missing components, like to a side cliff base, like so. Again, I mean, I'm not the best person to be explaining like tutorials and stuff, but I hope you kind of get the gist of what I'm trying to achieve here, which is basically just all of this sort of effect with this. So that, now you look at it and you're like, that doesn't look like a base or whatever. So we're going to change the size of the brush to about 27. We're just going to go over it neatly like this, and as you can see, the mountainside cliff is looking a bit more like, yeah. Now you can download loads of different ones, and you can sit here and just have, like, you know, your own little play around to get that right effect that you really want. I mean, it's just playing around with the opacity and the fall off, and I've added loads of flowers. Why did I add loads of purple flowers? But just ignore what I did there. But basically, to do like side cliffs like these, it's the easiest way of putting it is just grab what the main colour is of the side of the cliff. So in this case, say we grab like the side cliffs are like really like charred and stuff. And then we're going to grab our grass, turn the opacity right down, and then just sort of do a little flow over with it. And then our light dirt layer, and we're just going to go a bit around it, and probably add some sand in there to make it more of that whitish chalk effect. And to be honest, that does not look good. So I've got dinner on the go, so I've got to try and sort of do this. And then we're going to grab the dark layer that we can. And, you know, today would be absolutely brilliant. But just remember, always go back to the original grass and just sort of think of bars for like a prison. Like, try and do that sort of effect. But as you can tell here, where I've done the edges, it looks more, you know, faded in together. So it all fades in well, instead of just a basic, I know, let's create a mountain. Just stick that, you know, look a bit stupid. I mean, and then you just grab this and then like the grass one, and then just go, I know, let's add another bit. Let's separate that. See, that doesn't look so good. So yeah, it's just basically trial and error. There are some great places where you can get this sort of texture. I mean, if you just literally type in create a world textures, and it will give you everything you could possibly want. So yeah, I hope this helps. Literally just play around with the opacity. Oh, and also the shape, like if it's a square sort of mountain thing going on here, and it's a square cliffside and you want it to be like this, you can also do that. And then make it sort of like smaller as you go along. You know, just, and it gives that really nice jagged effect with the square. And you just, again, get this, turn the opacity down, turn that a bit bigger, and then you just want to get that opacity right down to about 3. Maybe not, possibly 3 and 9. Yeah, that's more, and you get that sort of faded jagged effect there. So it's all, again, trial and error, and I hope this video helps. I mean, not the best at explaining things, I'm not gonna lie, and I don't know how to do tutorials exactly to best standard, but this is just like a tutorial, like hints and trips, yes, this is how to do tricks, and how to get like a blended effect. Again, play around with the size, the opacity, and the fall off. The fall off is very important. I mean, you don't want a bog standard light, you know. This is my mountain. Without fall off, you'll literally just get this. I mean, what is the point in that? So you want some fall off, you know. But to do the fall off correctly, you need opacity down as well. So it goes all nice and faded like that. And it does its thing. And we're going to be crazy with all the mountains. But yeah, basically, switch into yeah. But thank you for watching, and I hope this helped.